Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're in like the chatty get ready with me spot, but that is not what we're doing today. I actually wanted to sit down and have like a more informal chat about some very fun play piercings I did recently. This is your warning that this video is going to have pictures of play piercings and pictures that do have like some pretty up close shots of needles and blood in them. So if you don't want to see that, this is your warning to skip this video. Now, I don't think I've ever done an in-depth YouTube video on play piercings, and maybe I will if y'all like this one and want to hear me talk about it more, but I have done a blog post about them, and I'll link that in the description below. But play piercings is basically an umbrella term for any temporary piercing. So any piercing that's done where we're doing it and then it's being removed, typically within 24 to 48 hours, and it's never intended to be something that you are trying to like heal or wear long term. Most folks hear the word play piercings, they usually think of one of two things. They think of the quintessential corset piercings, which is where we do some play piercings and put some captive bead rings in them and lace them up. Very popular in the 2000s. And then they think of like intricate play piercing projects done with hypodermic needles where we create designs and decorations with the hubs. But there is way more to play piercing than just those examples, and I kind of want to talk today about what I consider my favorite element and aspect of play piercing. Now, in order to discuss that, I would say that I personally, this is just my personal thought process, break down play piercings into like 4 distinct categories that I think help divide the different types of play piercings that are out there. Now, I break those 4 different categories into 2 sections. So we have play piercings that are for aesthetics, and we have play piercings that are for like some form of emotional release or spiritual connection. Under the play piercings for aesthetics umbrella, I typically see 2 different primary categories. Play piercings with the insertion of jewelry, so things like corsets where we have captive bead rings in them, or play piercings where we're like putting a bunch of barbells down someone to create a pattern. Anything where we're piercing and then we're inserting jewelry. And then we have play piercings for aesthetics using needles and hubs. And this is where we're creating intricate patterns with the hubs of the needles, creating shapes, creating designs, whatever your heart's content is. And those 2 categories I kind of view as separate because the focus of them is on the aesthetic. It's on how the end process looks. And then we have play piercings for some kind of like emotional release, deeper physical connection. This particular umbrella, I put play piercings for kink purposes, super common and super popular. And then I also have ritual or spiritual play piercings, which can include anything from like just doing play piercings as a way to like have an emotional release and a cathartic experience, to play piercings that are a part of religious ritual and religious rite. I've actually written about Catholic blood rituals and blood rites on my blog before. There is a huge history of all sorts of different religions using forms of what would be considered modern day play piercings as part of spiritual processes and spiritual rites. So that's kind of the way I break them down in my head, and most play piercings end up falling under multiple categories, right? So we can do a play piercing for kink purposes that's done with jewelry installed, and the end result is this like aesthetically beautiful corset, but it's being done in this kink space and someone is having this like experience of getting these piercings done. It doesn't have to be though. I have been at many tattoo conventions where folks were just getting corset piercings to look cool and walk around the convention floor, and they really genuinely didn't care about the experience of getting the piercings. They just really liked the look of the piercings afterwards, and that's totally valid too. But what I want to talk about today is really the emotionally charged, just cathartic, healing, magical experience of play piercings, which can oftentimes overlap with some aesthetic stuff. Just yesterday, I got to do some play piercings for a wonderful client and friend of mine, and I'm going to throw some pictures of those up, and it was the most wonderful experience, and I feel like really encapsulated the part of play piercing that I really love and the part that I want to do more often. Let me set the scene for you. It was literally gorgeous out that day. It was like 75, 76 degrees. It was a little overcast, but like there was still lots of sunlight coming through. The second we went outside to start doing this, there was this like beautiful, gentle, cooling breeze. We were out in this little shady corner under the trees, watching all the leaves like ripple in the winds, and we were just sitting there enjoying the presence of nature, and doing these piercings and talking about the experiences that they had had in their life that brought them to this moment, and the way piercings were very grounding for them and helped them feel in control of their body and celebrate their body. We worked through moments where they were painful and it was hard, and I could feel the, oh God, do I really want to sit here and get pierced like 30 freaking times? Like, this sucks. And watch that transform into moments of, my body is so strong and I can sit here and get pierced 30 times in a row, and I'm capable of doing this, and I'm capable of doing more. The endorphins and the nervous giggles that come with pain on purpose turn into genuine laughter and smiles, watching the euphoria that comes after getting a lot of piercings like that, the natural organic adrenaline rush and endorphin rush and little like body high, as well as the confidence of like, this is something that was hard, that was difficult, and I did it. And then just the emotional release and a lot of really good tears. And I am a sympathy crier, so I was crying for like half of this, and watching the way that this experience broke down barriers and helped process trauma and just really helped someone get to feel so at home and so confident of their body and so present in the moment that we were in. I tell you what, my mind is often racing a million miles an hour. Even when I'm focused on something, I'm thinking about, I need to remember to go grocery shopping, and did I change the cat's litter, and do I remember that really awkward thing that I said in the 10th grade, and I wonder if my friends actually like me. Like, there's always 47 different tabs open in my brain, and in that moment of just doing those piercings, but also every single time I've gotten play piercings, all of that just shuts off. And I am so unbelievably present in that moment, and my brain is so quiet, and it is like meditation on another level, where all 100% of me, the physical skin and nerves and muscles and tissue of my body and all of my brain, is just focused on the sensations around me. I am just so consciously aware of, when I get play piercings, the feeling of the needles in my skin, but also the breeze on my skin and the sun on my skin. And in this instance, doing them, I was so focused on doing the piercings, but also Ellis's breath and the tenseness of their body and the looseness of their body, and guiding them through this experience and making sure that it was a positive one for them, and just the energy in the space we were working in. And it is play piercing experiences like that that allow you to be so present in your body and work through emotional difficulties and hard feelings and past traumas, and just really feel like you are capable of handling all of that and more. That is my favorite part of play piercing. Yes, it was aesthetic too. We made this beautiful circle pattern. I think it looked great, but that was a bonus to the experience that happened of sharing in this interaction and providing this catharsis and this healing and this just very intense, peaceful moment. And I think a lot of the times online when we talk about play piercings, the focus is almost always on aesthetic play piercings. It's always on beautiful corset piercings and beautiful intricate patterns with hypodermic hubs and like gorgeous, mathematically worked out like parabolas and perfect designs, and it's super beautiful and it is an art form in and of itself. But the play piercing that has always spoken to me the most deeply and the play piercing that I have always enjoyed is when that is like a happy side effect and a happy result of really intense, empowering, just beautiful emotional moments. And we see a ton of that when we see play piercing in the kink space, and that tends to be the focus on those experiences. And obviously that's the point of spiritual or religious or ritual play piercing. But that's outside of those spaces, not really the play piercing that I feel like gets as much attention in the piercing industry. I feel like the piercing industry really focuses on the aesthetic side. And again, while there's nothing wrong with that, I just wanted to sit down and talk about the other side and remind folks that the other side exists. Every time I talk about this, I without fail have someone who mentions like, I've never looked at play piercings that way. I thought we just did it to look cooler for photos. And you can do it for those reasons. And again, that's fine. But there are few things that make my heart sing more than those sharing in those experiences and in that energy, be it as the piercer or the piercee doing something like that and sharing that vulnerability and that trust and that openness. And it is just like genuine, pure magic. It can be so healing for so many people to have a situation of consensual pain and consensual discomfort and to explore the limits of their body in a safe, controlled, and again, consensual manner like that. And I think that that can be really empowering for any survivor of trauma, anyone who struggles with mental health and illness. For some people who struggle with self-harm, that can be a form of harm reduction and a very safe outlet. It's amazing. And if this is something that you think interests you or you want to know more about, I'd love to chat more about it. Please let me know in the comments if you want to see me do like a full in-depth like play piercing video. But also, I don't think I can share the details just yet. Maybe I will have shared them by the time this video comes out and there'll be like a note in the description or in the video or something. But I will be in a position very soon in the next couple of months where I can start doing more play piercings like this for folks, and I really, 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 really want to. So stay tuned because I am going to be doing a lot more projects like this and hopefully talking a lot more about projects like this in the coming months on my channel and on my social media. And if this is something that you think you might be interested in or want to do, as soon as I announce it, like, please hit me up because these experiences are truly some of the most precious that we get to have in body piercing and as body piercers, and I would love to share the magic of these moments with more folks. It's 24 hours after we did everything for Alice's play piercing, and even though I wasn't the person getting pierced, I was just the person doing the piercings, I am still like a buzz with very good, wholesome, just like warm, fuzzy energy from everything that we shared in that space yesterday. Just, so magical. Warms my whole heart. Anyway, I just wanted to share some of that with y'all and share that perspective with y'all. And I hope a bunch of you are freaks like me who just love this and love the idea of feeling bad so that we can feel better. I will certainly be talking more about this, especially on my Instagram and hopefully here on YouTube as well. And I can't wait to sit down and share more experiences like this with y'all. Have an awesome rest of your day. Bye.